This is the link to my website page that has the resources for all my sessions. The form session, which I just did, I'll do it again. I'll do all 3 of these again tomorrow. The session right now, which is a Google Sites, and then the screencasting session, which will be after lunch. So if you don't, if you're in a session and you miss it, you can go here and get all those resources if you want. All right, so I'm going to go to... My name's Travis True. I'm the Curriculum Technology Coordinator over in Topeka for Topeka Public Schools. I'm one of 2 tech integration specialists for the district. I'm a Google certified trainer. We're one-to-one with Chromebooks 3rd through 12th grade, and we're one-to-one iPads kindergarten 1st and 2nd. So every one of our kids has a device that they use at school. What I want to do in this session is show you the new Google Sites. It's really simple to use if you haven't been into it yet. If you've been into the old, it's completely different from the old version. And the new version is very easy to use. They've made a lot of improvements to it over the last year, really. And your access to the old sites is going to go away at the end of this year. Really about a year from now, you'll still have access. There is a way that you can convert, if you've got sites in the classic sites, you can convert those over to the new site, and I'll talk about that too. So, all right, so let's get started on making a new site. So if you start at google.com, and normally if you click on the waffle button, which is the 9 squares here, somewhere in this menu you'll find an icon that says Sites, and it looks like a blue page, kind of looks like a blue web page. And you click on that. Right now it still takes you to the classic, the old version of Sites, as far as you can still create websites using the classic version, they call it. But right here underneath they'll say New Google Sites. That's where I'm going to click and start that. The other way to start a new site, this is a little bit different from, well, a lot different, is you can actually in Drive, you can create a site right here from Drive. So you don't even have to go into Sites and go to New Sites and create a new site. You can create a site here, and then you'll find your new site in Drive. So it'll be one file that you'll be able to find if you search through Drive or put it in a folder or do it that way. So that's a big difference in the two. And I'll go ahead and start one from here too. All right, so this is the new Google Sites. Basically, if you've never been in here and you're only familiar with the old sites, you'll see the differences right away. Over here on the right side is basically your toolbox where you can insert text boxes, insert images. You can embed items from other websites. So you can embed things from like videos from Edpuzzle, you can embed Twitter feeds, you can embed a lot of different stuff, either by a link or grabbing the embed code, and I'll show you how that works. You can also upload files, so if you have PDFs or other, maybe video, you can upload that. You have a divider line, you can insert items from your Drive. You can embed, because YouTube is owned by Google, you can obviously embed YouTube videos rather easily. Google Calendars, Google Maps, Docs, Slides, Sheets, Forms, and Charts. The one item that's not on here, which really disappoints me, is drawings. You cannot embed a drawing in here. There is a workaround that kind of works. But I'm kind of disappointed that drawing is not one of these options. So you have insert. You have Pages, this will be where you build your pages. So right now we have one page, and that's our home page. This button here will let you create new pages, and you can do sub pages, and I'll show you how that works. And then you have themes. Now, on the old sites, you really had a lot of freedom with how the page looked as far as the color, kind of the layout, really the formatting of everything. You could dig deep into those settings. Here, not so much. On here, you're limited to about 5 or 6 different kinds of themes. And you can change the color, the base color of the themes, or you can pick those colors if you want. And you're really limited on the type of font with those themes. So you're really limited on how the page or the website's going to look. So, and those can be changed at any time. So you can change those anytime without really affecting anything else. And we'll just do classic and just leave it at blue there. So that's kind of your toolbox. At the top, over on the left, this, just like in a Google Doc or a Google Slide, that's be where you title your website. So this is going to be the KVATE demo. This will be the name of my site, and if I'm looking for it in Drive, that's what I would search for in Drive, because that's the name of that file now. You have undo and redo buttons. You have a preview window, so you can, or a preview button, so you can see what that page is going to look like before you publish it. You can share this, and you share it very similar to a Google Doc, where if I put somebody's name in here, I can give them edit rights. Or you can change this to be, it can be viewed by anyone at your domain. Anybody outside of your domain won't be able to see it. You can change that so it be public, so anybody can see it, or lock it so just domain people can see it. But you can share it so you can have collaborators on it. The 3 dots here, you can duplicate the site. You can add a Favicon. A Favicon is these little icons. Like here at the top, I've got Facebook and Twitter and Amazon and Microsoft Office. Those are Favicons, and those are little icons that are attached to the web address. And usually when you bookmark a website, the Favicon comes with it. And then, like in Google Chrome, you can delete the name and the icon stays there. So you could add your own Favicon. That's what I did on mine. It's got the little laptop with the light bulb inside of it. And I added it right here. And then the publish, that's basically publishing it to the web or to the district. So you can make changes, and people won't see those changes until you publish it. The other big difference is this works more like Google Docs now, that any changes you make are automatically saved. Where in the classic side, you always had to click the save button at the top for those changes to be saved. This is more like a Google Doc now, where those changes are saved automatically. Okay? So any questions so far? All right. So let's get into just getting some pages made and putting some stuff in here. So for the title, they give you some placeholders where you can put your title in here if you want. You have the option, as far as the formatting goes, you have the option for text to be titles, headings, subheadings, small or normal text. You got justification buttons or justify left, center, right. You can add links to everything. So if I want to add a link to that, I can. I highlight it and then I can put the website or the web address in there, or I can delete the link. I can also delete this entire thing. To get that back, I would come back here to Insert, and at the top I would click on Text. However, a quicker way is to double-click on any place on a page, and you get this little wheel. If you click right in the middle, you'll get a text box. You click here to insert an image, upload something from Drive or embed, like that Twitter feed or something from, maybe it's a video from Khan Academy or something. Okay, so quick access, you just double click, and to put in a text box, you just click again and there's the text box. And you can pretty easily change that. Now, as far as the heading goes, you can change the background of the banner image, so you can upload your own, or you can select something that they already have for you. You can also change the header type. So if you only want text or a title, then it takes the option for that banner away. Or if you want the banner, or you can have a really large banner, or this is new, what's called a cover, and it takes up most of that page. That's the cover. So we'll just stick with the smaller banner there. So you have the header types that you can change, and also upload your own images. As far as entering, so if I enter a text box here, what I can do, I can make these text boxes smaller. Anytime you click and drag something, you're going to see those guidelines, and your images or your text boxes or your videos, whatever you're dragging, will snap to those lines. And so you can really line things up and make them look really nice. And if I was to put an image in here, I don't want in that. So I can drag this around. On the images, I can make it bigger or smaller by clicking from the corner and dragging up. Now what you'll kind of notice is that when you do that, it may crop itself off. But what you do is you can click this button right here that will try to fit the image inside of that size of square that you just drug. You can also crop the image from here. You can add a link to the image. So I could add a link, maybe this is to my website, or trash, or I can replace the image. So when I click on that, I can see that that's the link right there. The other thing I like is if I click and drag this and drag it under this text, see that blue line? I can actually attach that image to the text. So now it's grouped together. So I have, and then I can drag both of those around. And if I make this smaller, my picture gets smaller too. So I can move those around. The other thing that you'll see is over here on the left, for each section, you'll have a color palette, you'll have a duplicate button, and you'll have a trash can. So the color palette lets you, it lets you separate sections. Jeez. So I can separate sections. I can make them different colors. I can click and drag on the 3 dots, or there's 2 rows of dots right here. I can click and I can drag those sections and reorganize those sections. I can duplicate the section and then I can recolor reshade. I can also add images to those section dividers. So you can really separate your sections quite a bit, and then the trash can button will trash those things. Uploading stuff from Drive is pretty easy. So if I come in here to Drive, and let's just do recent. Here's a form that I was using the last session. It will embed it right into the page, and then you can just click and drag on from the dots and make it fit however you want it to fit, and you can drag it around and basically put it wherever you want in whichever section you want to put it in. Okay, YouTube videos, you can search YouTube right from here, or if you've got the URL to the video, you can, or if you've uploaded them to your account, you can put those in there if you already have them up on YouTube, or you can search for them. Google Calendar, you just pick the calendar that you want to embed. Google Maps is the same way. You just search for a location, and you can put the map in there. And then Doc Slides, that's all the same as it would be from Drive. The divider is just a really thin line that will divide sections also, and you can click and drag and move it up or down.
Can you alter that? That divider?
No. It basically takes on the color of, so like right here between my banner and this section, it's white, and if I hover my mouse, all I get is a trash can. If I bring it down here below, it takes on the same color as that header. So you can't change the color. All you can do is
thickness or anything.
You're stuck with how that is.
Okay.
The last thing is embedding. So you can embed an entire web page, or you can grab embed code and paste the code in. So let me show you how this looks. So if I double click down here and I go to embed web page, I can do, this is our district website, and it'll try to give you a preview of what it's going to look like, and I'll click insert, and that's not a good example. Let me do this. There we go. So here's a preview of what it's going to look like. I'll click insert, and it should, so this is the icon. Some pages, if they're set up, you will get the entire page embedded in just by putting the URL in. You'll get the entire page. So basically this is a link to the KVATE website. If I click on the gear, I can have it not show the image, or I can hide the title. So if I have it not show the image, it looks like that with just the title. If I have the image turned on but not the title, it looks like that. And if I publish it, then that's an active link right to the KVATE website. And this will open up, basically that's the link, and it shows me what the page is that's opening. As far as putting in a Twitter feed, you have to create what's called a widget. So in your Twitter account, you'll go into settings, and you'll come over here on the left and go to widgets, and you can create a new one. And I'm going to create I want to embed Basically, you put the link to your profile in there or somebody's profile. How do you want it to look? And then here's the code. So you copy the code. You come up to embed, and when you do embed code, you just paste that code in there and hit next and insert, and there's what it's going to look like. I have this same thing on my website, so if you look at like my homepage on my website, it's over here on this side. So anything new always is at the top. The problem is, like in 501, we have Twitter blocked for students, and it's blocked on like Chromebooks. So if I look at my page on a Chromebook, that whole site is blank because it's blocked. So you just have to be careful of that. But that's how you embed those things, those other things from other websites. So ThingLinks, Edpuzzles, Khan Academy videos, anything that you can grab an embed code from, you can paste them in there. Okay. So any questions about that? Just putting stuff on the page and kind of moving.
My error message on the page.
Whoops, I just went the wrong way. Some pages won't work, and it's based on how they're formatted. So not all pages will embed. You can definitely link to them. So you could have
I tried it that way. It won't go that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are some pages that just
I was just curious in case my kids came across that.
Yeah, there are some pages that you can't embed like that.
Okay.
So what you can do is you can insert a picture
Right, type out the. Yep.
and then insert the link
Yep.
on top of that picture.
Okay. I just wondered if there was a workaround around that error I was getting. Okay.
What if later on I say I don't want my names either? I want to unconnect those. Can you do that?
Yeah, you just click. Well, you double click. Come on, get off of there. There we go. You double click, and then when you get those move dots, you click and hold, and then you drag it off of that, and now those aren't connected anymore. But if I try to drag it underneath, what I would like to be able to do is put this underneath here a little bit farther, but you really can't, because if you're putting it on the same section as another object, it's going to connect it. So, but you can't. You just click on that section, and whenever you get those lines, those dots where you can move it, then you can just drag it off. Let's talk about pages now. So pages. So we have one page here, and this is our home page. I'm going to create a brand new page, so I'm going to click on the plus button at the bottom. And this is going to be, I'll just call this page 2 and click done. And it has page 2 here. And it takes on the same banner as the page before it. And you'll also notice that I have the navigation set up to where my links show up to the top. Okay. Let me create a couple more pages. This is page 3. And this will be so I made one here called subpage. So what you can have is you can have pages basically underneath or as subpages. And to do that, you would click and drag, and as soon as you hover over the page that you want this to be under, you click drop, and you notice how it's kind of indented right there. So now if I come up here, there's a little triangle, little arrow that shows me the subpages. Now, the other thing you can do is these 3 dots next to the pages, you could make that page your home page. So you're not stuck with this page as being your home page. you can actually set any of these pages as your home page if you wanted to. You can duplicate the page, so if you made a page and then you want to make it again and it's very similar looking, maybe you're just changing out a little bit of information, you can duplicate it. You can add a subpage. You can also hide it from navigation, which means that if you hide it from navigation, that little triangle went away and it doesn't show up in the navigation part. It's still here where you can link to it. So I could link my picture to subpage 1. So when I click on my picture, I go to that page, but it doesn't show up in the navigation here at the top.
Gotcha. So like on your site, like your presentation tab, like all those presentations are sub-pages. Like the blog presentation, those itself are just other pages.
Yeah, and let me show you, because I do have some that are hidden from navigation, but you're able to get to them. Nope, that wasn't it. It's the one I was just... Where's it at? Oh, I'm on the wrong account. That's why. Oops. All right. So the way my site is set up. So a good example of hiding the navigation on the pages on the presentation is so if you look under the 497 Summit, which is an event we did in Lawrence, if you click on this, you'll see it'll say Google Drawings, Screencasting, Advanced Forms, Advanced Slides. It links to each of those. But if you look at it from here, you don't see. You only see, so I can focus in on, just click on, so that it doesn't get all junked up with pages. And you can hide these. So like, I did a Google boot camp at Emporia State. So I hid the navigation. I gave them the link, the participants, but it's kind of a private page. So I have it here in my list, but nobody has access to it except for the people I gave the link to, and you won't find it through my site navigation. So you can kind of hide pages that way. If you're not ready for a page to be seen, you just hide it from navigation and continue working on it until you are, and then turn that navigation back on. You would just show in navigation, and then that page pops in that spot. And you can click and drag and move these around as you need to. So that's how I have it set up there.
So those pages might have just been links within that page that they went to that they just clicked.
Yeah, so if you look at the 497 Summit,
Right.
and those just go to those
Pages.
that's the hidden page.
Right. Okay.
All right. The other thing you can do is you can add a link directly to a website, and it looks like a page, the navigated page. So if I click on the plus button down here and go to link,
Would that be like easy, like I have different links the kids use almost daily to set up a little feature page?
yeah, resources.
Use a link as the top, they just go click on it.
Yep. Here, let me do this one. So if I publish this, then when I click on it, it takes me to I don't have the right thing in there apparently. It takes me where they can then log in and join the Pear Deck. So it looks like a page, but it's just a direct link to that website. So yeah, any classroom resources that you use.
So then, how do you suggest that like I share my actual site to the kids that they can like open it up super easy?
What grade?
3rd.
What kind of devices?
iPad.
They have their own iPad, or are they shared?
No, everybody has their own.
I would make a.
Icon on.
I would go on each one and go to your site and then add it to the home screen so it looks like an app.
Okay.
And if you add the Favicon, then your Favicon is the app icon.
Okay.
So you can add those direct links to those sites, and they look like pages that you've made, but they're just links to those. And you can hide those from navigation also, but I don't know why you would. So that's the pages section. The navigation. Now you don't have to have your navigation be across the top. You can actually have it be over here on the left side. And to change that, you would come over here, hover over your name here at the top, and you get this gear. And that's where you can toggle between top navigation and side navigation. So right now, default is always across the top. Side navigation, it looks like that. If the screen, depending on your resolution of your screen, it'll show up automatically. Or if your resolution's way big, then it'll show up as the 3 lines, and then you can click. But you have the option of doing the side navigation or the top navigation. And I'll leave that open, or I'll leave that as side navigation as we move forward, so you don't see them across the top. But you can't turn off the navigation. You have to pick one or the other. All right, so when you have your site ready for people to look at, before you publish it, you can preview it. And that's what this eyeball button is you preview it. And the preview basically this is how it's going to look. And they give you 3 different options to view it. You can view it how it will look on a computer or a laptop, how it's going to look on a tablet, or how it's going to look on a phone. And it will do the formatting for you. So this is what it looks like on a laptop. And if I scroll down and I have this linked, so this links to another page, and this should link to another page, and there's my tweets, and everything looks good. And if I click on page 2, that takes me to page 2, which is fine. And everything looks great. And here's what it looks like on a tablet. And here's what it will look like on a phone, with the side navigation like that. To get out of this, you just click this. You would click this X here to exit preview. If you close this tab, you close the whole site you're working in. So just close this, and that's the preview button. And when you're ready for people to see it, you click publish. The very first time you publish it, you got to give it a name, and it takes whatever you named your site. That's what they take here, and you can change that if you want. And then that's the web address of your site. And who can view my site? Anyone at Topeka Public Schools. So anyone in my domain can view that site as long as they have the link. If this is something like a classroom website that you want parents to look at, you're going to want to change that and change this to public. Anyone can find and view the published version. That way parents can see it. If you don't, the parents would need to have a district account in order to log in and view it. So now this is a not quite published yet. Request public search engines to not display my site. So if you want it public, but you want to make it really hard for people to find it, check that box. And that way, like Google won't run their spiders and their bots through it to put it up as part of search results. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to click Publish. And it doesn't take very long to publish. I say that and it's taking... There we go. So once it's published, what I can do here with this triangle is I can go back into my published settings. I can view my published site. So this is the website that so now I can copy that. That is my website now for this site. That's my URL. So I can copy that and put it in a newsletter, email it to parents, or put it on the iPads and make that link. And then I can view it. Now, any changes that I make, so if I delete, let's say I delete this entire section. The changes are saved, but those changes do not show up here. Even if I refresh, they don't show up until I publish the changes. So you can publish it initially and then work on some things, and once you're ready for that to be viewed, then you can publish it. And if you're still not ready for it, but maybe you got some pieces on this page that you're ready for, but some on this page, you'll have to hide the navigation on the one page you don't want people to see. Because if I hide navigation, let's say I hide navigation of page 2. Uh-oh. What happened? Oh, there we go. As soon as it publishes and I go back and refresh, then it should, there we go, page 2 is now gone. It's still there. On the back end, it's still there. So then you can publish that. And if you wanted to take the whole thing down, you just unpublish it, and then that breaks the URL. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's super, lot easier to use than the classic sites. We would spend 3 or 4 different sessions showing teachers how to get their classroom website done in the old sites, and this takes not very long, and people will just pick up on it pretty quick. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh, this link right here, this is not available. It's grayed out. It's not available until you publish, and that will copy that URL of your site. So once you publish it, then this link becomes available, and that's your URL where you can then copy to. So you can either view it here, or you can click on that, copy it, and paste it into another tab. Any other questions? And it's super easy. Once you start getting into it and building it, you'll just go. The other kind of cool thing is when you're working with pictures, like if I want the like on my site, I grab the KVATE logo. So all you have to do is either copy it, copy the image, or click and hold and drag put your cursor at the top. I'm still holding down. Come down here and drop it, and it pastes it right in as an image. And then I can resize it. Stupid dictionary. Then I can resize it, and I can uncrop it, and it'll make it a little bit smaller. And then I can link to it. So those images, if you've got them saved into a folder, if you have them like I'm on a Mac, so if you've got them if you have them in a folder, you can just drag those pictures. Let me see if I've got one here. Or even video. Like I have this video. Maybe. There we go. Oh, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? But even if you have that stuff saved, PDFs work that way too. Oh, here's a JPEG. But so that's part of that. That's part of that upload option. But you can just click and drag. No, that's stuck on there. That's weird. The last thing I didn't mention, I just saw, was you can add a footer. And this is information that'll go on the bottom of every single page. So, like if you look at my website, I have the footer that is just my contact information. So on every single page, even new ones that I make, this whole same information. Because you'll see pages like copyright statement or something, and that's just an easy way to put it clear at the bottom so you have it. But once you put it on there on one page, it goes on every page. And if you make a change to it, it'll change it for every page, just like a footer in a document. Okay. Questions? Why is that stuck up there like that? Huh. Questions? No? Okay. What time? Let's see.
55. Like 10 till or something.
Like 10 till 55.
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to work for the rest of the time, if you run into anything and have any questions. If not, I am finished showing you stuff. You can play around with sites for the rest of the time now. Okay?